Mm-hmm. We made it. We here. We are here. Are we on? There we go. What's up, everybody? What's up? Once you enter, hit that like button for me. Send us a wave. Let us know you're here. And we'll try to acknowledge the people we see. All right. Oh man. It's been a little marathon getting here, man. But we made it. We here. We made it. Made it. Get our drink situated. Might be kind of early for some people. Blue Fame, what's up? What up? What up? What's happening? No, we're gonna move this to the other side. Do we like it on that side? We don't break anything. Blue Flame, what's happening, my guy? What is happening? Whew. It was rough. it was rough getting here. Everything was good until my supervisor asked me to help, and I'm like, I wanted to say no. He might be watching, but I still wanted to say no. But I was like, okay, well, who is it? I'll go help out. Be a good helper, be a good driver, be a good neighbor. I'll do all of that. Um, yeah. It is what it is. This driver had a crash today. Wasn't even from our center, but we got to take the hit. But never mind all that. Just glad to be here. I'm glad I prepped everything on yesterday because it's no way I was gonna be able to be here on time today. Well, you know what? I could have got off on time. And on time today was around 5 o'clock. I could have literally been off the clock by 5 o'clock, but I opted to help, which they hardly ask me, but whenever they do ask me, I go ahead and try. Do my best. Because I'm a team player. I'm definitely a team player. Y'all want me on your team. I will help out the team. I will push the team. I will try to propel the team because that's what I do. All right. Like I said, once y'all get in here, hit that like button. We'll get started. We appreciate the support. We got a fire show tonight. Fire show. So good thing you didn't miss it. All right. Should we go ahead and get started? Yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. Just another Monday, huh, Blue Flame? Yeah, man. Same here. I seen I had like 90 stops. I'm like, ooh, we're gonna run through this. But yeah, we didn't run, but we got it done. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but it's all good. Here we go. Breakdown Media, we up. Yep, and we live. We are live.
Breakdown Media.
We are live.
Breakdown Media.
What's up, Bomb Squad? It's my pleasure to be in front of you on a Monday night. We got a fire show, like we said. I'm prepped. I'm prepared. I'm geared up. I want to get started right now. But first, I'll tell y'all how my day was. It was cool. Had about 90 stops, and I opted to go help. Took another 25 to 30 from the other driver, and I got it done. Had a little mishap on the way back. We'll tell you about that later. We'll get to that later. But all in all, we got it done. And we're not tired. In fact, I feel like I just woke up. We just getting started today. All right. Outside of that, life is good. We had a bad storm this morning. It was terrible. I think it started like at 1 a.m. I'm talking about thundering, lightning. I'm not sure if it was hail or not because I didn't get out of bed, but that was an incredibly loud and violent storm. And it was done by maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock this morning. So really didn't have to deal with it like on the road, but yeah, it was crazy. I kept waking up. Dog started freaking out. So, we had to make some adjustments, but either way, we here. It's been a good day. Life is good. Life is good. Life is great. Life is what you make it. I always say that. But you really have to take into account that we are lucky to see another day. And I feel lucky and blessed to be in front of you guys on a Monday night. So we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Y'all see this cup right here? Y'all see that? Enjoy the journey. All right. It's my favorite cup. And it's not because I could fit 12 ounces in here, but it's because what it says. It's my favorite message, my favorite cup, and I try to use it as many times as possible. Enjoy the journey. Whatever the journey is, we are all on a journey. Everything is a journey. Every single thing is a journey. Life, you wake up in the morning, your day to day, your month to month, your year to year, just like your little battles throughout the day. Life is a journey. And it's important that we enjoy the journey and not get all caught up in whether we're passing or if we think we're failing at the journey or if we feel like we're behind. Enjoy the journey. And I know that might be hard because if you think like you're having a hard time doing a certain thing, you might feel like, well, there's nothing to enjoy. I get it. Trust me, I do. But enjoy the journey, because if you're thinking about failure, if you think about you might fail or you think you might fail, you're failing, you're behind or whatever, it's all an illusion, because to me, there's no such thing as failure. Or I would say if you're trying or you're doing the work, there's no such thing as failure, because you can only learn from your experience. That's why I say enjoy the journey, because you only fail if you think you're failing. It's all about your mindset. If you don't try, or for the people who rather not try at all, I think they are bigger failures than the person that's actually doing the work, who might think that they're behind or they're not really up to par with everybody else, or just not doing anything at all. So if you can take anything from this message and from this show tonight, is that you got to try. You got to do the work. You got to push. And there's no such thing as failure. Because for the people who's not trying, I won't call them failures, but they are bigger failures than you who are actually doing the work. All right. So enjoy the journey. We all on a journey. Everything is a journey. So enjoy it. Push through. Persevere. Get to it. All right. Whatever it is, get to it. Do the work. You got it. Let's go. All right. So y'all see the show. We talking about the automation topic. It's a big one. It's a big one. It's a lot of division. A lot of people talking on the left. A lot of people talking on the right. And I'm not talking about politics. I'm just talking about people in general, right? The automation topic is crazy. It's making a lot of people upset. I won't say it's making a lot of people happy, but it's making a lot of people feel indifferent, so to speak. I don't really know of anybody that's excited about it, which is not a bad thing in my opinion. But you know what? I'll leave my opinion to the end. We're going to get into a couple videos and we're going to break down this whole automation thing because I see a lot online and I'm sure you do too. I mean, whether you looking at it or not, it's kind of hard to avoid it. But with layoffs, job cuts, route cuts, facilities closing down, automated facilities going up for UPS. I mean, they're not the only company that's moving towards automation. There's a lot of companies believe that they can be more efficient, get things done more efficiently, and not have to deal with workers, people, people and their problems, people showing up late to work, people not coming to work, people calling in. Look, I get it. So from a corporate standpoint, that's what they see. So they're going to leverage the technology in order to try to make the company more efficient. It sounds black and white, right? Well, it's a whole lot of gray. It's a whole lot of gray. And this is where people get conflicted, disconnected, divided, so on, right? So we're going to get into this first video. And this first video is about Happy Returns. Now, if any of you familiar with Happy Returns, UPS, they bought them out, I want to say in 22 or 23. I want to say 23. They bought out Happy Returns. So basically, Happy Returns is, look, let's say a GameStop, like, hey, we want to take Happy Returns. So the customer need to return, like, say, a blouse to JCPenney, or they bought it online from a clothing store and they got to return it. Instead of going and ship it back to the shipper, they'll take it over to GameStop. GameStop, they'll scan it in, get your receipt, and they'll put it in a tote bag. And UPS or another carrier will pick it up, and it kind of gather like a whole bunch of returns in one, and it'll go out as one shipment over to back to Happy Returns. And once it gets to Happy Returns, they'll divide it up. Hey, this goes over here, this goes over here, this goes over here, this goes over here. So it's sort of like the UPS store return way, kind of, sort of. But they, they consolidate returns, less on shipping, or they spend less on shipping and more consolidation. Makes sense, right? Sounds like a great business model. I agree. And I understood why UPS bought out the company. So we're going to get into this video. But first, we're going to holler at my guy, Jude. What's up, Jude? I did work today. I think I started at 8:20, something like that. I got off about 6:45. So yes, I did work today. And it was a sprint getting home. I took the fast way home to make sure I get here. I was mainly on time, but yeah. But yes, I did work today. Did you work today? Did you work today? Jude, let me know. All right. All right, guys, we'll get into the first video. And like I said, hit that like button if you can. We'll appreciate all the support. And hey, send us a wave or ask a question. Or say if you see somebody in the chat you spoke to before, tell them hi. Y'all be kind, right? Because we all family. So hey, let them know you're here. Say hi, what up, and we'll get it popping right now. All right, let's see what we got here. Y'all ready? Wait, is this the right camera? This is the one I want? Yeah, this is the one I want. Okay, Jude, you Tuesday through Saturday. That's right. You're right. And you're going to get active tomorrow. Y'all ready? Let's go.
Especially when it comes to returns. Happy Returns and UPS are leveraging cutting-edge robotics to transform the way returns are processed. And with the help of Geek Plus robots, we're working faster and more accurately.
Yo, hold on. Sorry, look at those robots.
And with the help of Geek Plus robots,
y'all see how fast those robots are moving? And like most of them, or half of them, have packages on them. And so it looks like they're moving them around the warehouse to certain stations. But like those robots are moving, I don't know, 2-3 miles per hour maybe. But okay, let's say I worked in that warehouse, right? I'm gonna put myself in there. Let's say I worked in that warehouse and you said, hey, take this package and take it over there to that side and put it in a box on row E6, right? I'm going to take the package. I'm going to walk next to people. And most likely, I'm going to get distracted. I'm going to see a piece of paper on the floor. I'm going to pick it up, or I'm going to kick a box to the side, or I'm going to start a conversation with somebody I haven't seen in a couple of days. I will get distracted because if you're asking me to do this job, I can do it, but I won't move that fast and I will get distracted. I will wander off. Then, midway, I might have to go to the restroom. Then I'm gonna make a left before I get to the box on row E6. And I'm probably gonna go to the restroom. I'm gonna spend however much time in the restroom. And then I'll get to it. Then again, I might get distracted again. I might answer a text. I might pick my phone out of my pocket, look at my phone and answer a text. I'll reply. I'll take a phone call while I'm still trying to walk. So these robots are way more efficient than somebody like me. If they ask me to take this package to the other side. All right, that's just my observation right away. I see where I would have problems. And they are not running into each other. I would be running into people, maybe, running into poles, distracted walking. I'm just saying, like, that's what I would do. But maybe y'all different, but let's keep going.
We're working faster and more accurately than ever before.
With the continuing rapid growth in e-commerce, reverse logistics has become even more critical in the retail supply chain. This is nothing new, but returns can be a problem. Happy Returns is helping to solve that problem and scale its solution by implementing state-of-the-art robotics.
Traditional reverse logistics often meant slow, manual processes for warehouse teams, leading to delays.
Reverse logistics, basically just, regular logistics is getting it from the shipper to the customer or the seller to the customer. Reverse logistics just returns, getting it from the customer back on to the shipper or the seller. It's a big deal. A lot of people return stuff. I did some research a while back. I forgot what the percentage of return was for retail, but it was pretty high. It was like in the teens, maybe like 12, 13%. Let's keep going.
And risk of error. But with robotics, there's a new way forward.
Warehouse automation.
Hey, those robots, they don't even get a break. It's like, hey, you're going to keep working. Your engine might get hot, but you got to keep working. I wonder if they need like oil changes and tune-ups and stuff. All right, let's keep going, y'all.
Significantly increases speed and accuracy, cuts costs, and supports our workers. We're leaders in this space, using sortation robots and consolidated reverse logistics.
The robots have made my job.
All right, so the cutting cost part, and like I said, these corporations, like they want to cut the cost. It's controversial because as a worker, most people, they all for cutting costs until it affects them in their pockets. And so when you hear the company say, oh, we're going to cut costs, like people are like, cool, I don't care what you do. But you start affecting their paycheck and their employment is like, wait, hold up. I want you to cut costs, but at what cost, right? Don't affect me, but hey, do what y'all do, but don't affect me. You see, and it's tough right now because you really can't have it both ways. I mean, you can, but it's hard. And so it's like whenever a company is able to cut costs, they can increase the bottom line, which will make the company more successful over time on average. But at what cost and at what extent do you cut if you're a corporation? A lot of big decisions got to be made from day to day. And I get it. It's hard. And you're never going to please everybody. And this is why it's an issue. And this is why it's controversial. And guess why? This is why we're here tonight. We're going to break it down. Let's keep going.
A lot easier. I just take the product out of the box, put it on the robot, and then it goes straight to a box, and then it goes to the retailer.
Meet the Geek Plus S20C robots, standing at over 40 inches tall, handling up to...
Yeah, so she touched the package, it gets on the robot, it goes into the box, and no one else touches the package again. It's pretty efficient, if you ask me. All right, let's keep going, y'all.
44 pounds and moving at 5.5 miles an hour.
5.5 miles per hour. Well, I was off a little bit. I said 2 to 3. So 5.5 miles per hour. That's pretty quick. And they're not running each other, and they're not stopping, talking, having conversations. Let's keep going.
These robots are revolutionizing how Happy Returns processes returns, working in perfect harmony with workers. This groundbreaking transformation, completed in under 6 months, is a testament to the power of collaboration.
Happy Returns gains so much from working with UPS. This approach ties both operations into a single seamless network, making sure the warehouse operations integrate smoothly with UPS's logistics. This collaboration is crucial for making the reverse logistics process as efficient and reliable as possible.
Our approach has always been people first. We're not just working toward improved productivity, but enhanced working conditions for a happier, safer workplace. Robotics have improved working conditions, reduced injury rates, and doubled initial productivity. Warehouse turnaround times have decreased by 35%, shipment density is up, and our accuracy is dramatically improved.
For customers, this means faster processing times and fewer errors, which helps Happy Returns shave days off of hand.
All right, so you have a situation where Happy Returns are getting returns processed quicker, which, I don't know. Is that better? It's better for the customer, right? It is. Is it better for the industry as far as logistics? I mean, they're able to do double the work in the same amount of time, double the returns in the same amount of time with this automation. And so you have to ask yourself, is it better for the industry altogether? Who does it help? Who does it hurt? Because with all of these robots, in order to do this work, this amount of work with people, I mean, they're moving fast. And say 5.5 miles per hour. Yo, my power walk is nowhere near that. And that's why we're having a conversation, because you ask yourself, who does it help and who does it hurt? And the part that it hurts, or the people that it hurts, how much is going to hurt? And whoever it helps, we know, how much does it help? And does the hurt is disposable because you're making more profits? So if a customer is getting a return quicker, like, they don't care. The shipper cares because they can actually get it back quicker, and they can see and process what they want to do with that item. I get it. But as far as if I'm in logistics, if I'm a driver or I'm in the industry, and you seeing less return packages or stuff like that, it's just like, okay, well, it's getting processed differently. Well, that affects the volume, the individual volume. Because when I started seeing these Happy Returns, I'm like, yo, in one tote bin, I was picking up, I mean, they will put like 15, 16 returns in one tote. Before Happy Returns, that was either individual packages, or maybe they were taking it to like another place like a UPS store and consolidating it. But before all of that, like that was probably 15 to 16 packages. Now it's being consolidated. And so you got to think about that. With volumes going down, this is one of the reasons. Let's keep going.
Handling times.
Pues cuando me pasaron a la área a coger un training con el robot, me encantó. Es algo impresionante, porque yo dije, wow, esto
really
como que
impressive.
más rápido, más fácil, porque ellos hacen parte del trabajo de la compañía.
Along with UPS and Geek Plus, we're bringing a
Thank y'all
new
for the
era
likes.
of reverse logistics with speed, accuracy, and
they
customer
lined up, ready to
satisfaction
go.
at the forefront. This is the future.
All right. Now, we got that video out of the way. What up, Nick? How's it going? How's it shaking? So, the automation is crazy. They did a good job. And I'm not even sure if UPS bought out Happy Returns to use a lot of their technology. I'm not sure, but it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because it seems like they have figured it out and to make it more efficient and, you know, it's working. It's working. And these companies are going to use automation to get return on their money. And they're going to say, cut cost. They're going to say, cut cost. When you hear that, people get angry. I get it. I don't get angry, but people get angry. Because when you hear corporations say cut costs, people automatically think that, oh, they're going to cut the jobs. Well, that's one of the ways to cut costs. You cut waste. If you cut waste, you can cut cost. If you cut anything that's unneeded, you can cut cost. But at, like I said, but at what cost? Now, this is where the controversy comes in. All right. So, you got two sides, maybe even three sides, but let's say two sides. On one side, you have the innovation, the automation. Every company is trying to innovate. And I do believe if you don't innovate, you die. And so you have to innovate. There was a video I seen of the Amazon warehouse where they have their new robots out. And this was like over a year old video. It was sort of like the Happy Return video. The robots, they scurrying, they moving, 10, 20 miles per hour around the warehouse. They moving stuff around. And when that video first came out, I remember it was a lot of reaction online saying like, oh, well, they getting rid of jobs and they getting rid of jobs. Look, I understand. They're going to try to cut costs. If that means get rid of jobs, that's probably what they're going to do. If they can use the technology, if they can leverage the technology, whether it's AI or whatever, they're going to use it. Now, if you're a company, whether you UPS or FedEx, DHL, USPS, whoever, if your competitors are innovating and you choose not to innovate, where does that leave you? So, and that's where the issue comes in at, because I see people, I'm gonna say people in Group A. We'll name them Group A. Group A people say like, look, innovation is key. We need to innovate. Because if you don't innovate, you fall behind, and your competitors, they pretty much wipe you out because they are being more efficient than you are. And, they're going to leave you in the dust. All right. That's Group A. Now you have Group B over here to my right. Group B is like, well, I'm not for the automation because The automation is going to take jobs away. Y'all should not automate. Y'all should not close down these facilities because y'all taking jobs away. And if you take jobs away, that's not good. So don't innovate and run the risk of falling behind and falling out of contention. So what group are you? You group A? You for the innovation? You understand that it might be some bumps in the road? Or you in group B? Group B, hey, do the automation, do what you got to do because we want to stay on top. Oh, no, we don't want to innovate. Group B don't want to innovate. No, we're going to lose jobs. And I'm not going to say which group I'm with because it really doesn't matter. I'm just laying it out. And people don't want to talk about this, but we're going to talk about it tonight. What up, Jude? Yeah, man, the automation stuff is here. It's not going to reverse. And that's why we're having a conversation, because it's here. And look, I've seen, he said 2 years ago when he started, had 7 centers in the building. We were down to 4. And some got sent to other buildings and others got merged. Yeah, we're diverting routes to another building here probably later on this year. So I think we'll still have 4 centers, but we might end up with 3. But oh yeah, that village sucks. What up, Alejandro? What's happening? And so Group A, yeah, Group B. Which group are you? Because if we want the company to be around forever and ever, right? You want to retire, they're going to have to innovate. And if they choose not to, then, eventually it's going to be a wash. And so do you get mad at the decisions to innovate, or do you get mad at the decisions not to innovate? Because you can't please both groups. I mean, you can, but that's why I said earlier, there's a lot of gray. You got Group A and Group B, then you got the group in the middle is like, hey, we could do both. That might make sense, but there's going to be some hurt as far as, might have some jobs lost, might have some layoffs. And then the volume situation isn't good either. So not only you have the automation part of it, but the volume is down. I want to say it's down 12% over last year around this time at UPS. That's not good either. FedEx's volume is down as well. And so you have that. So if you want to talk about layoffs, you have the volume issue, which is not good. And you have the automation issue, which is, it is what it is. And so do you take the hurt? You take the layoffs, but the company still innovates? Or do you stay stagnant, don't innovate, and just count your days? Because people will get mad. People will be upset if they're just like, hey, we're going to just stay legacy values, just stay whatever we've been doing for the past 20. Let's just stay doing that. Man, all this new technology, we're going to let them do it. We're going to let Amazon do it. We're going to let FedEx do it. We're going to let all our competitors do it. We're going to just stay what we've been doing, and we're going to just stay here. And so the people will have a right to be upset because, you're trying to retire one day. If I'm trying to retire one day, when I'm hitting 65, I'm laying back chilling. These young men and women, they need to be out here running these routes, making the company money so I can enjoy my retirement. I need to enjoy my retirement. So what do? See a lot of anger, but I don't hear any solutions. I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything of value. I don't hear anything of look. My dad once told me, rest in peace to my dad. My dad once told me, if you're going to sit up here and complain, that's cool and everything, you know. But if you're not going to piggyback your complaining with some type of solutions, even if it's off, just some type of solution, you might not even be that smart. Just some type of solutions for the problem, then like nobody's going to listen. Right? And so we can always take the easy route, say, look, I'm going to complain. I'm going to give all my problems to you. Congratulations. That's easy. We can all do that. But when are we going to come up with some solutions? And like I said, I hear a lot of anger. And, you know, I don't really get upset. Like, I don't get mad at stuff because it's not worth it. If it's out of my control, what am I going to do? And so I don't think it's worth my time. And I really don't think it's worth my effort to put all types of effort into it when I have no control of it. And so I see the anger. I see the vitriol online for shit that doesn't even, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but you really can't do anything about it. But maybe people feel better by venting. I get it. We all need to, right? But maybe people feel better by venting, getting it out, and then they could sleep better. But it doesn't change anything. It doesn't. So what group are you? Are you group A? Are you group B? All right. Nick, what's happening, Nick? Yes, enjoy the journey. I love this cup. It's my favorite cup. Like whatever I put in it tastes good. No matter what it is, it always tastes good because I like the cup. Gonna be a long week. Man, get some rest, man. Get some rest. Do what you got to do. It's going to be a long week. Well, at least you got Monday out of the way. Well, almost. Okay, let's see. Thank y'all for the likes. We appreciate it. Let's get into this next video, y'all.
We were able to get a tour of this massive facility here at UPS Velocity. It sits around 900,000 square feet. Just about half of it is storage space. UPS Velocity is being touted as the most technologically advanced distribution facility in the industry.
Yeah, that place looks wild. Look at that. This reminds me of that Amazon video when they had those little carts and the robots, when they bust out the robots, say, hey, look, these going to be the new Amazon robots in the facility. Look out for them. This reminds me of that. But look how he said 950,000 square feet. That's crazy. All right, let's keep going.
Industry.
What you're looking at here is the future, and it's exciting that it's happening in Kentucky.
The facility will use AI and automation to process more than 350,000 packages a day. On Tuesday, UPS leader.
He said 350,000 packages per day. 350 per day? Hey, y'all know how many packages y'all center processes? I mean, I know this is different because they actually packaging stuff, but do y'all know how many packages y'all center runs through every day? Or do y'all know? Like, I roughly know about how many we do. But let me know if you know. All right, let's keep going.
And officials cut the ribbon on this new facility. These AI robots, known as cobots, play a critical part in making sure operations run smoothly.
It can be more faster, easier, precise, and make everybody jobs better.
Ileana Rodriguez is a team leader with UPS. The company says the goal is to hire 500 full-time workers here at this facility, and UPS says it's hiring more diverse candidates. Of the last 100 people.
Yeah, so see, they packaging up stuff. Like, you know, they have the raw materials in the bins, and it seems like they're packaging up stuff. But to move them around the facility, they use the automated robots. Let's keep going.
Hired, 80% only spoke Spanish.
Part of my job is help translate, train all these people on the right ways, and helping all the way to the process.
But these robots make the translation process for their daily tasks easier.
They can all be able to interact with their cobots and do it within hours. That is very unique, very different than most of these employees who come to.
Okay, so this is UPS Supply Chain Solutions. And so it's just a division of UPS. It's not Small Pack, it's Supply Chain Solutions. So I mean, it's a different division, but you know, it's under the UPS umbrella. Let's keep going.
Bill Seward says while the company is using more automation, they are not trying to replace human jobs with robots.
And so they say, like you heard them, we're not trying to replace human jobs for robots. Now, most people will hear that and say, no, because my eyes is telling me something different. Most people say that, and I don't blame them because you see it. But at the same time, like, they're going to say that because they're not going to not use the technology. And so, you know, eventually, maybe if they get more robots, you know, some of those 500 people, maybe some of them jobs might go. But, I mean, it's going to happen. So, I mean, we can sit here and get upset. But, like, what are we getting upset for? I mean, you know, to maybe create a robot that they can use, make some money off of it. I don't know. But it's almost done. Let's keep going.
Facility where because our employees do less heavy lifting, there are fewer injuries. It's a safer environment and our employees are happier.
And workers like...
All right, so people are safer. That's what he said. People are safer. And, you know, I'm not going to knock that because that's probably true. You know, if I say, hey, look, don't lift or you don't have to lift, you scan, you push to the side. If you don't have to lift, you're less likely to get hurt because you don't have to lift anything. I mean, today I had 200 packages and of course I had to lift every one to deliver it. But if I had a helper today and I didn't lift anything, then it's highly likelihood that I won't get hurt. But I didn't have a helper. But I'm just saying, like, but I could have got hurt today. I mean, but you know, we all could. So you reduce the risk. So I mean, I get what he's saying, and they have to say this. And I'm not saying he shouldn't say this. They have to say this because it is true, but people don't like it because, like, oh, well, that's just an excuse to use automation. Well, whatever excuse you have to use automation, you probably should use it. Like, I'm just saying, whatever argument you're going to have, whether it's for or against, it doesn't matter. Whatever argument you have for it or against it, you use it. So if you're trying to win an argument, or let's say you're an attorney, criminal case, murder case, or whatever, you're going to pull everything out that you can to make your argument to try to get your client off. Or if you're the prosecution, you're going to pull out all the evidence in order to make sure they get convicted. And so they're going to sit up here and say, and I'm not saying they shouldn't, they're going to sit up here and say all of the reasons why it's safer, everybody is better off. Well, hey, nobody's going to hurt their backs because we have the robots doing the heavy lifting. You don't have to worry about going out on TAW because, you know, we got the robot picking up the box and not you. Okay. They're making a case. I can't fault them for that. They're using and they're saying what they have to say. Many people might not like it, but they're saying what they have to say. I can't be mad at that. But on the other hand, this angers a lot of people. Let's finish up.
Rodriguez says it's these kind of changes that make it exciting for everyone.
Amazing. That's the only I can say. It is unbelievable. I love it.
And
like, she loves her job though. I'm not mad at her. She looks excited. She probably trains people. She loves her job. Not everybody is giddy and happy and excited about what is going on. But at the same time, it's like, you know, being upset, being frustrated. I understand. But what are you going to do? And I'm not saying you should be powerless. I'm not saying you should be a victim. I'm just saying, like, the automation era is here. And, like, what are you going to do about it? I think that's about it. So they was hiring, see, it said 500 workers. Let's see. I want to say it was 500 workers.
Rodriguez is a team leader with UPS. The company says the goal is to hire 500 full-time workers here at this facility, and UPS says it's hiring more diverse candidates. Of the last 100 people hired, 80% only spoke Spanish.
Part of my job is help translate, train all these people on the right ways, and helping all the way to the process.
But these robots make the translation process for their daily tasks.
All right, we got it. We got it. All right. If you're new here, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Right? Nick, you going to bed, Nick? All right, let's see what's going on. Marcus Smith, what's up, Marcus? How's it going? He said, I hope they put a robot on the car that delivers for us. All we got to do is drive. Man, that'll be dope. That'll be dope. Look, just don't get that helper with high heels. Get a robot instead. I had to turn her back. Like, nah, you can't help with them high heels, yo. What up, Mr. MN Scout Dad? What's happening? Bomb Squad, what's good? I saw the light. I see you. How you like that hoodie, huh? How you like that hoodie? I always get this wrong. Enjoy the journey. Hey, whatever that looks like. So, are you Group A? Are you Group B? I mean, there might be some in the middle, but the same people that will get upset that automation is taking over. And look, it's not a good thing with these. It's not a good thing with these buildings closing and stuff like that. That's not all automation. A lot of that is volume, but you know, some of it is automation, but it's also volume, because I got the report last week. The volume is down 12% from this time last year. And I can't remember what number it was down from 23 to 24. But either way, the volume's an issue. The automation is helping these buildings close down, and they're consolidating routes and operations onto other buildings. That's definitely happened. Definitely. And so all you could say is like, well, what's the move? Because if it has to be a shrunken company in order to survive, not just survive, but to thrive and compete, if that's what it takes, then I mean, that might be what they have to do or keep doing, because if you're too broad, if you're too strung out, if you're watered down, that can be a problem. If you don't want to evolve, and that's with everything, that's just with life in general. You know, like how many of y'all, I shouldn't even ask this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Y'all see the prices of everything. It's like the evolution of prices. It's like, you know, things go up, you know, whether it's, you know, household items, groceries, vehicles, houses. Like nothing stays the same. The weather doesn't stay the same. The prices doesn't stay the same. Nothing stays the same. And so when it's time to move, when it comes down to competition, you got to move. Look, if I see somebody next door with some nice flowers, like I'm not going to go take them. I know somebody that do that, but I wouldn't do that. I have some really good neighbors. But if I see somebody with some nice brushes or some nice flowers, I might try to get something that's a little more colorful. Like, not that I got to beat them, but, you know, I want mine looking nice too. And mine might just look better than yours. Not that I have to compete with my neighbor. All I'm saying is that things change and we got to pivot a lot of times and we got to compete. And so I would much rather, and I'm going to give y'all my thoughts. I would much rather the company do what they have to do in order for me to get my check whenever I decide to retire. Whenever that is, I want my check. And I'm sure you want it too. Right? At least I would think that people do. Yes, it might hurt right now. It sucks people getting laid off. And I mean, there's always solutions to issues like that. I get it. Like, people got to make tough decisions, but it's tough. It's not easy. I never want to see people lose their jobs. I never want to see people get laid off. I never want to see that. But it's tough. It'll hurt. But at the same time, I'm trying to retire. And I'm not sounding selfish because I'm not the only one that feels like that. People might not want to say it. I'm going to say it. People might not like it. It is what it is. Because whatever I'm saying, if you don't like it, that's not the first thing you don't like. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it won't be the last thing at all. But here we go. And there's a lot of companies, and y'all see, I mean, banks and companies, they fail every day. I think I just seen Forever 21? Like, they went out of business for good. And so, like, they out of here. I mean, I hate to dismiss it like it's not a big deal, but, you know, people lost their jobs, I'm sure. And so it's unfortunate. And I'm not saying like they didn't innovate, but all I'm saying is that if you don't make, you know, decisions, tough decisions, and you don't evolve and you don't make changes, you don't do what you have to do, you know, you might get lost. You might get left behind. And so, like Mr. Taylor said, evolution is inevitable. It has to happen. Now, I'm not saying y'all gonna grow like 11th finger or something like that, but evolution happens. Or 11th toe. Evolution happens. And it has to happen in order for us to, you know, move and evolve. It's not always easy, but in general, people want what's easy. It's just human nature. I get it. People want what's easy. People want stuff given to them. I get it. But if you get something, if something is given to you, in my opinion, it's not always the best because it can be taken away. And if you didn't work for it, is it really any good? Do you even want it? is it even worth anything? Because if I just go and pick up, if I'm walking down the street and I see t-shirts all over the place, like, oh, this is a cool shirt. And I see one over here, one over there, one over there. And why would I pay for it if they're all over the place? I could just grab one. These must not be worth anything. So, if you stay with a company that's choosing not to move on and innovate and use and leverage technology in order to get a leg up with a competitor, you probably could just open up your own business and stay stagnant. At least you have control of that and see how it goes, because it's the same thing. And a lot of times I have to stop myself. Well, you know what? One time I didn't. I was on the Facebook. Anybody here on Facebook? And, I was in one of the groups and they were talking about the CEO and the automation and all of that stuff. And, I don't look at that stuff a lot because a lot of it's negative. It's too negative for me. I can't do it. I'd rather be here than looking at the negative stuff. I'd rather joke around and talk about real stuff on here than to go and consume negativity, because I just value my time more. But nevertheless, I was there and I was consuming some negative material. And so I can't remember what the comment was, but someone made a comment and I was like, well, hey, if you don't agree with the CEO, I get it. We don't all agree with everything nobody says, If you don't agree with what the CEO is doing or the board is making decisions on, or the VPs that's underneath the CEO, because it's a lot of people in major roles that make big decisions that we don't really know their names, but they are there and they make a lot of money. So it's not just the CEO, right? If we don't like those decisions, we don't like those moves. Now we on the ground floor, right? We loading trucks, we making deliveries, we dealing with customers, we on the front lines, or we like the face of the company, right? I show up to your spot, I have your packages, you sign, I get on with my day. You see me, right? You don't see the CEO. So we're on the front lines, I get it. But if you don't like those decisions in which those executives are making, what would you do? If they come out and say, hey, look, Robert or James or Stephen or Richard or Joseph, hey, we're going to make you CEO for a day or a week or a month. We're going to give you the new codes. We're going to give you all the controls. You could fire anybody. You could promote anybody. You can cut off this customer. You can do this. You can promote this person. You can do whatever you want to do for a week. We're going to give you total control. You don't have to answer anybody. You don't have to do anything. So I just asked this one guy, I say, look, if you was in that position, what would you do? And be specific. And I left it alone. I logged off of the Facebook and I left it alone. Because I wasn't expecting anything. My expectations were extremely low. Because I get it. It's a lot of and nothing. It's a whole lot of nothing. So I say, you know what? I asked my question. Then I logged off. I go back the next day. I kid you not, this is a real story. And this happened about a month ago. No, maybe 6 weeks ago. I go back the next day, the very next day. And I don't even check it that often. I look. I kid you not. I forgot the guy's name. Shouts out to him. He might even be watching. I don't know. But the guy's like, look, I have no idea what I would do. Even if they did pay me, would they pay her? I have no idea what I would do. I'm just I forgot what he said, but you know, he kind of took a dig on himself, which I wouldn't have did that, but he did. He's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm just a guy from such and such. I would have no idea. I would be lost. I'm just over here talking trash. So I seen the reply. And, you know, I think most people, and this is just my opinion, I think most people would, oh man, I got to reply. I got to get on him. I left it alone. I logged back off because I seen what it was. And that's a lot of what I see on the Facebook, you know? And it's just like, yeah, we'll give you $20 billion a year. Hold the company up. Do your thing. Even me, I mean, like, I know how to cut costs. Like, that's probably the first thing I would do. I'm not even gonna lie. I would start cutting. Y'all would be mad at me as CEO. I'm sorry. Even the vice president, I'll be like, hey, look, I'll nudge her. Like, look, we spending too much over here. We spending too much over here. Hey, that needs to go. That needs to go. They need to get off at a different time. This, look. Hey, we need to use different tires on these cars over here. In these mountain states, we gotta chain. We gotta use different tire chains because these cost too much. I'm sorry. I will start cutting from day one. Because I mean, I understand that. I mean, that's how you survive. That's how you survive. As a business, that's how you survive. And I'm not trying to make jokes on people losing their jobs and getting laid off. I'm not doing that. Trust me, I'm not. But all I'm saying is that, like, the slightest little nudge, hey, put me in, coach. I'm going to start cutting stuff. I'm sorry. But that's me. But I didn't rag on the guy. I seen what he said. Okay, he doesn't know. It's cool. I get it. I was expecting something different. I was expecting this long plan. Because, I mean, he getting paid, you know, a lot of money. I didn't see it. Hey, look, I don't know. Which I get it. He was honest. Shouts out to him. He was honest. But he doesn't know. You know, which is cool. And I'm not saying you should know. But look, these people get paid a lot of money. And the money or the amount they're being paid, it signifies how important their decisions are. So my salary is cool, you know. I only have control of what's on my car. And I have a little influence on my work group, but for the most part, I have to take care of what I have on my car and I get to go home. I have no long-term implications on my decisions. I do, but I'm not making huge decisions. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to run ground with air or if I'm going to start my pickups early. You know what I'm saying? Or if I'm going to back at this location or not. Like, that's decisions I'm making. That's cool. But you got these people getting paid millions of dollars a year. And, you know, they having to make decisions that's going to be around forever. Long-term implications. So, are you Group A? Are you Group B? I forgot what Group A was. Yeah, Group A was but it was against the automation, yeah. Oh no, they was for it. The Group A was for it. Yeah. Yep. Drew says, I don't know if Amazon DSP model lasts in the long run though, over 100% turnover rate. Yep, we talked about that. That contractor model, the DSP model at Amazon is just like the FedEx Ground model, the contractor model at FedEx Ground. It's the same model. If I want to go get 100 routes, or let's say I want to go, do a couple zip codes, if they pay me for those routes, I got to get all the trucks, I got to get the people, I got to hire the people. It's the same thing. I'm not sure if that model works either. It works for Amazon. And I had a guy argue me down on TikTok, which, man, look, I don't argue. This guy argued me down on TikTok, was like, as I posted a video about the big boxes the big Amazon boxes that was on my car that day. It was a lot of them. And I was like, hey, well, once UPS cut Amazon by 50%, like these boxes are going to take up a lot of space in those vans. And you're going to be able to fit less packages in those vans, which I'm right. He argued me down like, oh no, I still could get 300 in with those. But I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm just making an observation. Then the other video, when the Amazon driver left 14 packages at the door and one by the garage, the same guy was like, oh, no, that was an Amazon Flex driver. I'm like, okay, well, it's still Amazon. Oh, well, they independent contract. I'm like, well, so is the DSPs. We still say Amazon, though. So what's the difference? There is no difference. They're still contractors. So we see Amazon packages. They're still representing Amazon when they deliver. I don't argue, man. I was like, all right, you got it. You got it. But yeah, you're right. You're right, Jude. The DSP model, ooh, man. I mean, but Amazon, they're going to rake in the cash with that DSP model. And the DSPs, like, they're going to take the hit as far as the liability. They got to pay for insurance. They got to deal with turnover. I was talking, okay, story. I was in my neighborhood, one of my neighborhoods, about a month ago, and I had about 9 stops left. And the Amazon electric van pulls up. Guy comes out, older than me, cool guy and everything. He had the music blasting and whatnot. He was grieving. He was like, oh man, they working me to the bone. They give me more stops. I'm the best driver the DSP has. He working me to the bone. I knock it out. He gives me more work. I said, okay, well, what you gonna do about it? Man, I don't know, man. I just want a day off. I'm like, dang, you can't get a day off? His complaints was they overworking him. He the best driver they have, which that was his words, not mine. What up, Random Gaki? How's it going, my guy? How's it going? He was grieving. So, I had 9 stops left. I'm like, I got to go. I'm saying to myself, man, I got to go. I listened to him. He was just complaining, saying that he said, man, they just do me bad. I'm the best driver they have. They just give me more stops. I knock that out. They give me more. They have me go help, rescues, and all of that other stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, to come apply. But he was adamant about he doesn't want to leave the DSP because, it's a nice guy. Okay, cool. But at the same time, he was complaining about his workload, which, okay, cool, I get it. But, he was definitely disgruntled. I wasted too much time talking to him because I probably talked to this guy for like 8 minutes. I'm like, yo, I got to go. But that DSP model is tough because I know they can't pay those people a lot of money because they can't afford to. Because with the vehicle maintenance, fuel, the insurance, it's tough. It's tough. I get it. So in the meantime, Amazon, they're able to release all liability and just, am I buffering again? Come on. Yeah, Alejandro said all the DSPs, they have so many rules, have no backup or rights. Yeah, you're right. At contract model. I'm not going to say it's trash, but it works for Amazon. It doesn't work for the contractor, and it doesn't work for the drivers at all. Okay, Random Gaki says some of the DSPs in my area, they get paid per day. They get royally screwed. Wow, that's wild. So if I know if I'm going to pay you, let's say I'm going to pay you $400 a day. If I know I'm going to pay you $400, we'll throw on 30 extra stops on there, for the same $400. That's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, they getting over. I mean, so Amazon winning, the DSP, they got it the hardest probably, and the drivers, they get screwed at the bottom. But no benefits, no rights. And, I seen where, because some states, they use more DSPs, and, some states, I think they do have actually Amazon drivers. Maybe we'll do a video on that. Maybe we'll do a live on it and break down, because I know they was trying to strike here a few months back. But I don't think, and I might have to do some research, maybe we'll do it on here. I don't think the DSPs, I don't think they can strike because they're not Amazon workers. I don't know. I might be wrong. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. I always get this wrong. I'm about halfway through. Yeah, so I'm about halfway. Well, not halfway, maybe a little bit over halfway. And getting ready the day in the life video. We almost got it done, but we grinding through it. I wanted to make sure it's good, and it's probably the best one that y'all have seen. So we're working through that, and we'll have it to y'all pretty soon. I can't wait for it. I can't wait. Okay, Jude say, I worked at an Amazon DSP before UPS. The routes are dispatched by Amazon corporate, not the contractor. So all the routes are predetermined by a computer that picks the person who does the best on each route. Okay, that's good insight. That's good insight. Thank you for Jude. Thank you. Yeah, that's interesting. And so if Amazon constructs the route, and so does Amazon corporate, do they also assign which driver they want to run that route? Okay, so the computer picks the person who does the best on each route. Man, that's crazy. All right, so Alejandro said, if they strike here in Queens, more of the drivers get fired. Try the Teamsters, but it's impossible because they're not working directly for Amazon. Yeah. So that's what I thought. Okay, so Jude said that Amazon corporate, they decide which drivers run. Hey, thanks for that insight. We didn't know that. Thank you, Jude. So yeah, wow, that's crazy. And so the drivers can get upset all they want if they take their grievances over to the DSP or the contractor. They can't help them because Amazon is directing them to work a certain person on a certain route. Okay. Well, man. All right, so I got a request today at work. I won't say who it is, but I don't know. I might stay away from this one, but we'll see. I got a request to make a video or maybe even do a live stream about the union. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. We'll see. Because I have strong views on the union, Teamsters, you know. I have strong views. And this is one of the reasons why we have Bricked Out Media. Sorry. Because it's beautiful. Because the views on this channel is solely that of Bricked Out Media and Bricked Out Media only. No one has to agree. No one has to subscribe. No one has to like. No one has to comment. Nobody has to do anything. But I'm going to contemplate on making that video because I can. And, you know, I already know. Okay, so this person had asked me, I said, I have a follow-up question for you. And my follow-up to that person was, I'm starting to buffer. Yo, what's going on with my internet? My follow-up to that person was, why don't you make one? If you want to see it that bad, why don't you make one? But I know this person really well, and they might be watching. We'll see. They may or may not share the same views as I, but, you know, we'll see. We'll figure it out. We'll iron it on out. But I already know, you know, we'll do it eventually. It's not that it's urgent because I don't care that much. But, you know, we do it. You know, I'm going to have a few people. They're going to come for me, which is cool. But we're going to say what we want to say on here because that's what we do. You could like it. You could dislike it. It's cool. I'm good either way. But we're going to just lay it out and it is what it is. It's cool. Like everything is cool. Random Gaki said, y'all ever see the video of Amazon's union busting training video? Nah, I didn't see that. I don't know. You can send it to me though. bricktouteveryday@gmail.com. If you find it, Gaki, send it over to me. I'll check it out. Maybe we could talk about it. Maybe we could talk about it. But I already know if I made a video or a live about the union, man, look. I have some what's the word? I'm gonna leave that alone. We'll bring it to you. Sooner or later, we'll hit it. We'll hit it. Yeah, Gaki, man. If you find that video, hey, send it to me, bricktouteveryday@gmail.com. And we'll check it out. We'll check it out, see what's happening. But I know if I made a video about the union, I already know I'm gonna have people come for me. Which is cool, you know. We can have a conversation I'm for it. But what's not going to happen is me not saying or sharing something that I want to share just because some people may disagree. It's cool. That's what we do here. We bring you the information and we give our opinion. And everybody have a different opinion. I get it. And nobody has to agree with me. And I get it. And it is what it is. We all different. All right. So it's Monday night. In closing, all I got to say is this whole automation thing, if you're in a situation to where you're in a facility where it might be downsizing or you could be in a line of fire as far as getting laid off or maybe a job getting cut or stuff like that. So all I can say is, like, one, try to make yourself as valuable as possible. And I'm not saying that's going to work, but it helps. Two, you got to have the hustle in you. And I'm not saying it's going to work, but it helps. Go to different centers, try to find work. I had somebody message me a few days ago saying, like, look, I'm laid off. I've been laid off since February. What should I do? And I'm like, hey, have you texted supervisor or whatever like that? And they have. And they haven't been getting any response from the supervisor, which, I understand that too. But I say, hey, just stay on them. And a lot of the jobs are being moved from that facility to a different facility. I say, well, I will try to get in touch with management at the new facility, as well as try to talk to as many people as possible, whether they're in management, not in management. Talk to as many people as you can, as often as you can, to try to see what's going on. But don't quit. Like, I don't advocate for anybody to quit. Like, even if you're trying your hardest, you think nothing's moving, don't quit. Just keep pushing. You can figure out other ways to make money. But as far as just like, okay, I'm going to give up and quit, I don't like the sound of quitting. Cue words are cool, but quit, I don't like that word. I just don't like it because I don't believe in it. Hold on, grind, push, figure stuff out, because like my cup says, I'll show you guys again. It's not failure unless you quit. And once you quit, then you done failed. But it doesn't have to be that way, because if you just keep holding on and pushing, you might prevail. Make yourself valuable. Maybe find another skill. Just make yourself more valuable overall. Because you might be in a line of fire, you might not be. And try to encourage somebody to not quit as well. But you have to be willing to change sometimes too. Changes happen. We have to move around sometimes. In my building, there's some people that's going to have to move to a different building. Many of them don't want to, because in a different part of town, or generally a different part of town, more traffic, a congested area. They're like, no, I like it over here. I get it. I like it over here too. But they're going to have a decision to make here in a few months. And so, just hang in there. And if you don't quit, then you give yourself a chance. That's all I'm going to say. And enjoy the journey. It's not going to always be pretty, but we have to make it do what it do. All right? So look, guys, hey, thanks to everybody who came through. I appreciate it on a Monday. We'll holler at y'all here in a couple days. I know Nick got on me last week for going 3 days without a live. Shouts out to Nick Martin. Where you at? I think Nick's sleeping now, but we'll be back. We're going to shoot for Wednesday. Y'all see it tomorrow. Mike Bigger, man, haven't seen you in a minute. What's happening? All right, so random guy can send me the video. I'm going to look at it tonight, and we might pull it up on the next live. Mike Bigger said, layoffs don't last forever. Go work inside until they tell you to come back to driver. That's what sucks about being lower in seniority. Yes, Mike Bigger. And the way you move up in seniority, you got to stick around. You find a way to stick around. And, you know, if you lower in seniority, man, people be quitting. People get impatient. They like, you know, just like the guy, you know, messaged me a few days ago and said that, man, I've been laid off. What should I do? Well, you know, I'm pretty sure it's been since February. That was last month. I'm not sure. Okay, I can't be sure. But there's a good chance that there's people above him in seniority that's going to quit. They be like, oh, I'm sick and tired. I'm out. And that's cool. But, you know, you got to stick around. In order for your seniority situation to get better, you have to stick around. So don't quit. Yeah, Jude. Hey, I appreciate you, Jude. See you on the next live. I know you'll be here. Thanks for all the support, my brother. We appreciate it. Mike Bigger said these 11 to 12-hour days are killing. Man, look. Well, at least you only can do 5 of those. Hey, Mike, my days are getting shorter. Believe it or not, my days are getting shorter. My businesses on my route, I don't have a whole lot of them, maybe 30 to 35 stops a day, but the volume for those businesses is getting lighter. So I'm getting through my businesses at a faster rate, if that makes sense, which it puts me in my residentials a little sooner in the day. And so I'm not working 11 hours a day. I'm not saying I want to, but my payday is getting less. I'm not mad at that because I spend a little more time at home. But the days when I get hit, I get hit. Yeah, I have a high school. They got Letterman jackets today. That was crazy. And they don't have a doc. That was 3 trips into the office of the high school with Letterman jackets. That was crazy. But, Mike, 12-hour days, man. Are you on a 9-5 list? Because if you are, man, oh, man. And if you filing, man, oh, man. Hey, Nick Martin, he's the expert 9-5 grievance in the group. Nick will probably fill out the grievance paperwork for you. You know what I'm saying? Nick's about that action. All right, Bomb Squad. Okay. One more Mike Bigger. Here we go. Every Wednesday and Friday, they usually been cutting an extra 3 to 4 routes, and they've been giving me extra 20 to 25 stops on those days. Whew. Well, hopefully 20, 25 stops. That's what, another hour? Maybe hour 15? Wednesday and Friday? All right, not on Thursday? Or they probably can't cut on Thursday because it's probably too heavy. Smart AI dispatch. I'm not sure if y'all have AI dispatch, but smart dispatch. Yeah, enjoy the journey. Everything is a journey. Everything is a journey. And it's just how you approach it. Man, don't let nobody tell you anything about what you got going on. Don't let anybody discourage you. Don't let anybody tell you anything. Don't let anybody tell you can't do anything. This was a gift. I always get it wrong. This was a gift, probably one of the best gifts I ever got. One of the best gifts I ever got. And I mean, it's a cup. It probably was like $3 or $4. But it's what it says. It stays with you. It pushes you through. It propels you. One more thing before I go. And I promise I'll make it short. Just do the work. Whatever that looks like, do the work and you're going to see it. But do the work, be intentional, and get out there and get it. All right? We're going to see y'all Wednesday. I'm going to try to get a nice show for y'all on Wednesday. All right? Y'all have a good night. Breakdown Media, we out. Peace.